Audience from Sri Lanka. Presently, I am at one of my good friends' residencies. I am on a balcony and you can see the moon also behind me. So I would like to speak on the topic: is mankind on the threshold of just going beyond the moon, or one may say going on space missions beyond the moon? When one thinks of the moon, it brings in a lot of romance. And last mission of mankind to the moon was in the late 1960s. After that, no missions beyond the moon or to the moon have been undertaken. One of the main reasons for not going beyond the moon, it is said, is the problem of taking drinking water or taking pure water in the missions, because a lot of water will have to be taken. But now that problem has been solved, because the asteroids can be parked in such a manner in space that what you call water from it can be taken into the spaceships. Like there is what you call fueling of aeroplanes in mid-air. The same principle can be used to take the pure water out of asteroids. And this way large quantities of water will not have to be taken on space missions. Because it is said in the early in 2030s, the mission to Mars will be taken up and man will travel to the planet Mars. And in this journey, asteroids, parked asteroids will be used to take the fresh water. And this way, what you call large quantities of water need not be taken from Earth, or it need not be even recycled, because they say recycling can cause problems of infection and things like that. So when one thinks of water, even on Earth there's plenty of it, but the problem is to get it in pure form, and in asteroids it's in pure form. So that's why what you call it becomes a great asset. In other words, asteroids will be the launching pad for mankind, or will be the stepping stone for mankind in space voyages beyond the moon. And when one thinks of the asteroids, one thinks of how the dinosaurs were destroyed due to a large meteorite or an asteroid striking the Earth. But now mankind knowledge has increased, and he has the ability of parking them in space, and we are making use of them. And when one thinks of the, what you call dinosaurs, how they got destroyed, what really happened, they say, was an asteroid striking the Earth, which caused big fires, and these fires brought in a lot of smoke, and the smoke blocked the sun's rays, and the Earth became a ball of ice. Or they say even if a nuclear war happens, the same thing can happen, what we call a nuclear winter, where there will be a lot of fire and it will block off the sunlight and planet will turn into a ball of ice. And this way no photosynthesis and people will starve. That's what happened to the, what you call, to the dinosaurs. But when one thinks of the cockroach, it lived beyond before the dinosaurs, but it's still there, even in today's homes, and sometimes it becomes a big problem. But they survive because they live on dead matter, not like the dinosaurs. They have to live on vegetation. So, if I get back to the space mission voyages, the 2030 space mission to Mars will be a very interesting voyage, because it may take over 6 months up and down, but it will bring in a lot of new, what you call, thinking and research into it, and new inventions. For example, Mars is full of, they say, carbon dioxide gas, and we can start photosynthesis, because in photosynthesis the raw material is carbon dioxide gas, and inside what you call greenhouses, this carbon dioxide gas will produce in photosynthesis oxygen, and then living things can live. And this way colonies will be put up in Mars. And there are so much of other things that can be researched into Mars. And taking these asteroids also in the present era, in electronics, some of the rare metals are got from these asteroids, or some of these asteroids are already being mined by the developed nations. Very soon the United Nations may have to draw up legal drafts that this asteroid material, or the wealth in the asteroid, belongs to all mankind, and it should, certain part of it should be given to humanity, or to all mankind to be able to benefit out of it, because it has so much wealth in it. And asteroids, when you go to see, there are plenty of it. There's an asteroid belt between in our solar system. So parking them in orbits can be very beneficial because there is a lot of pure water in it, and pure water is one of the most essential things in space voyages. And what we call, and up to now one may say we have not gone beyond the moon, maybe financial constraint, but one of the main reasons is unable to get pure water. But now that problem has been solved. With this asteroid being able to be parked in areas or in orbits which we can use, then we get the pure water out. Then one thinks of the asteroids, what do you call, all of a sudden there will be huge asteroids that can come and collide with the Earth, and they cause a lot of problems. But that too is now very low because these asteroids also can be parked in space in such a manner that we can make use of them. That means the asteroids which destroy the dinosaurs, mankind with this knowledge will use as stepping stones to travel to the planets like Mars or even to the nearest stars. So with time everything changes and even knowledge changes. And in Sri Lanka we have some of the best scientists who are working in places like NASA and who have made some of the things like the blue light which is used in detecting cancer. Plus we have they use the blue light to destroy cancer cancer cells that cannot be seen even in their small capillaries, and it becomes a very useful thing, especially space technology. One may say that it is only for space, but now even it comes in useful even in our day-to-day lives. And for example, scientists like Preethi Gunaratne have brought in the new DNA code. She was one of the scientists who were in the team that brought the DNA code into the smartphones that everyone uses, and that way many diseases can be detected before it's just gone too far, like things like diabetes and all. They can be maybe completely curable with genetic engineering feats like the DNA code being put into the normal smartphone that everyone uses, because they say diabetes may be 3-4 genes or maybe a couple of genes which can be corrected and modified back to its original state. These are some of the things that are on the cards, and all these scientists from Sri Lanka have studied in government universities. In other words, it's the taxpayer who has paid for their education. So the Sri Lanka taxpayer can be proud. Not only they have educated Sri Lankans, they have also contributed to humanity also, because these scientists have made inventions that will help humanity on a whole, and they have all been funded by the poor taxpayer or the indirect taxpayer, who is the common man. When we think of space technology, one thinks that it costs a lot of money, but when one looks at it, the benefits it brings is very large, and all humanity benefits out of it. In other words, one may say the communication field, sweethearts have not been made, or may not have been made in heaven, but they have been made on earth, because the cell phones that we use to communicate, the technology comes from space technology, because from space technology only the technology is got. When the spaceships travel very far into space, they send messages to Earth. To amplify those messages, special electronic methods have been used, and those methods are put into the cell phones that are used today. So with these thoughts and with the moon just behind me, I will close this song, I'll Walk Just Beyond the Moon.